What is up, good fighters? We got some good stuff for you today, but most importantly, we got some good connection, intention, and purpose with Dr. Nash Stocko, and my name is Dr. Gates Mayer. We're honestly coming at you guys with a little bit of a different episode today, but I think y'all are going to like it because, going through school, there is tons of chiropractic history, tons of chiropractic readings, and it is hard to dive in as much as you might want to in a short period of time. So what we'd like to do is bring you a little bit of things, that some hidden gems that we found. So this is going to be a new thing that we're going to be doing every now and then is giving you some of these hidden gems that we read about and pass along to you guys. And more importantly, it gives you guys some concepts to think about, dive into, and then go out and get some books yourself and experience some of the wisdom as well. So Dr. Nash found some magnificent pieces of gold from the Bigness, right?
Yep. Treasure hunting.
Ooh, treasure hunt. That's what we got to call these episodes. Treasure hunt episodes.
Yeah, treasure hunt. Found some loot. Awesome. Found some booty.
Some booty.
Some good old fashioned green book booty.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's money, dude. So we got a profound topic today. I don't know. Dr. Nash sent this to me the other day, and I was like, dang. Like, the fire emoji? I'm pretty sure it was based off of this.
A few of those in succession.
Yes. Maybe like a paragraph word.
Yeah.
We're talking about, this is chapter 46 out of the Bigness. Is it Of the Fellow Within?
It is, yes, Of the Fellow Within.
Of the Fellow Within. Chapter 46, source is primary. So we are this is going to be like a little audiobook for y'all, a little audiobook chapter. It's about 3 pages long, but it's got some really, really good information. So if you're listening to this episode on 1.5 speed, slow it down, maybe even to 75% and listen in, because it's some good stuff that we're going to be hitting here, all from the words of the man himself. And then we're going to give some thoughts afterwards, THOTS, as always. So, Dr. Nash, start us off, big dog.
All right. Chapter 46, source is primary. You and I are. We did not happen. We are a result. We are replicas of many who have gone before. We represent a pattern. In this pattern, everything is properly placed, started running, and keeps on keeping on until its destined time to end. All viscera and organs are functioning as foreordained, because we all are prone to take all for granted, giving little thought to what it was and is that made us. Within each of us is an innate intelligence. This innate is a great reservoir of limitless potentialities. To the man who begins at birth, finds it impossible to continue at death, and does some thinking between, it is an untapped, unexplored continuity of all good, constructive, vital necessities, the length, breadth, and depth of which no man has yet fathomed. Innate within us is as great as the country, continent, and universe it arises from and causes to come into being. The innate within us is as great as the product of the universe, continent, country, and man and woman it made. To observe the man and woman and deny the intelligence which made them is not sufficient. Behind all the products is the producer. The intellectual producer works, and the intellectual product is no less than its source. Man was builded by innate of the male father and the female mother. Man was produced and reproduced by innates of male and female. Any innate that made man is the innate that keeps man alive and sane in his physical and mental functions. To ignore innate because innate cannot be seen under a microscope or measured quantitatively or qualitatively in a chemical test tube is common sense folly, even if it is scientifically nonsense. We admit the product, yet deny the producer. To study innate is to gain knowledge of the source of that which works to rebuild man. If he disagrees from normal, I repeat, to rebuild man if he digresses from normal, to rebuild health to sickness, to restore sanity to insanity. For as one fades in, the other fades out, all coming from within outward. Nothing that comes from outside inward or from below upward artificially has permanent value. Now, notwithstanding man's boasted sciences, exists an intelligence that conceived male and female, man and woman. It further conceived the pregnancy method, the time of gestation, the manner of birth of male and female, the balances of sexes and reproduction. This intelligence has been following that definite and positive pattern for millions of years with millions of people. Not only does that intelligence reproduce, but it is intelligent sufficient to produce man after he is born, regulate and balance his functions, keep him in life and health, and restore health and sanity if sickness and insanity exist. It is this intelligence which is the basic factor to which every chiropractor looks for restoration of health following adjustment. When any chiropractor loses sight of this factor, he has lost the fundamental upon which chiropractic rests. When he seeks to substitute the materialistic theories, he fails to accomplish the necessary.
Any intelligence so great that it can conceive the sexes, generate the generations, bring them forth, perpetuate them, and keep them functioning for endless time beyond the scope of educated man is certainly a great enough intelligence for us educated people to look to for things beyond our ken and understanding as a source of further enlightenment when we desire to know more than we do. Certainly, it is a sufficiently great source to go to for more knowledge than the mere pittance we think we know now. We now know. Within the confines of each innate intelligence is stored, index-filed, cross-filed, cataloged systematically, everything that ever was, is, or will be. Much within has come out. Much is in yet to come out. All the poetry, prose, discoveries, music, inventions, all the knowledge of how birds fly, fishes swim, man walks, every device that has been produced by it is within it. If man could and would draw upon it, he could do artificially within artificial limitations. Everything it does naturally, except in a more limited manner. There are only 310 mechanical movements known to science. They are all in the bodies of objects innate has made in natural objects. To invent the submarine, man needed to study how to fish, needed to study how fish sink and rise. To fly, man needed to study how birds fly. Genius in man is nothing more or less than opening the gate, unlocking the inner recesses between innate and education, letting the flow come from within, outward. To repel this inner knowledge is to stagnate our greater self. To embrace this inner knowledge is to develop ourselves to be greater than we are. Innate can no more break through an educated inhibition to change thought than through a vertebral subluxation to change function. Innate knows all about man and woman, in the gross as well as the minutest minutiae. Educated man could know more about man and woman if man would let innate instruct, guide, and direct his thinking. But it must come from within outward. It is entirely internal. Education, on the reverse, thinks it can force the reverse from outward inward, from below upward. And when it attempts the artificial reverse, he defeats the internal natural knowledge of knowing more about what innate knows. Innate has known about vertebral subluxation since man was conceived. Innate also knows about correcting them. Perversion of innate's law has made man sick. Working with innate helps to correct them. Abnormality, sickness, and insanity are inhibitions between innate and the body it made, running normally when it was. Normality, health, life, and sanity are restored by correcting the vertebral subluxations, removing the physical inhibition to normal quantity flow of intellectual energy between innate and its living objectives. Inhibitions artificially manufactured by educated man between innate and its living objectives create an obstacle between innate and those objectives. To build a mental, educated inhibition is to inhibit innate innate function from bringing forth to the world what it has learned down through ages, which would work if permitted to freely and naturally express itself. Educated man, in his narrowest thinking, inflects his ideas upon this natural and thus often starves history from a newer and better service to mankind. There are those chiropractors who explain memory, mentality, and function as an assimilated molecular kaleidoscope pattern, and if, as, and when the pattern duplicates and repeats itself, the same memory, thought, or function pattern of matter duplicates itself. The absent important point is, what is it which intelligently, consistently, and persistently duplicates the pattern hour after hour, day after day, and year after year between birth and death? Chapter 46.
Yeah.
Source is primary, baby.
So
love it. We love that, guys.
Yeah. So when I read that initially, what I've been doing is I like to kind of make, I don't know, little notes on the side of my book of things that like just kind of drop in that how that reflects with me. So, talking about the sufficiency to produce man after he's born, the thing that like really resonated with me is like, the flame of life is not a static image. It's not something that it's not one dimensional, right? It's so deep that it's almost hard to even grasp. It's like the trying to almost like get a grasp on how many stars there are in our visual horizon. You know what I mean? Like it's more than just picturing the dots in the sky.
Right.
And that's what I think a lot of people lose sight with a lot of the time is it's really easy to get caught up in the boundaries that we view externally when it comes to health and healing.
On that idea of a flame, when I think of a flame burning out, the embers, those are usually more constant than the flame itself. Like the flame is always moving crazy. The embers, when it's starting to die out, it's more like this consistent glow until it just fades away. But when we're on fire and we're putting in the work and we're doing things that chiropractors should be doing, we're not a static image, right? I like the portion here where it says to observe the man and woman and deny the intelligence which made them is not sufficient. For behind all product is the producer. The intellectual producer works, and the intellectual product is no less than its source. And you and I, we've been talking about the 33 principle challenge, and just I even texted. I don't even know if this was the same day, but I just texted you the other day that the principle number 18, the signs of life, are evidence of the intelligence of life. But it points to even greater, that intelligence of life. There's a producer. I know we've talked about it before, but to me, that's God. And just how can you look at the human body and the intelligence that it has and not just think, wow, like, dang.
When constructing anything, is organization intelligent or not intelligent? Right?
Yeah.
That's logic.
To be intelligent. Yeah.
Like there's patterns all over the place, and I love how he comes back to patterns a lot because do you have any experience with like CLA scanners or Titron scanners, Gates, other than outside of school? Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I don't have one in my practice, but
you've had experience with them,
right?
And like even like holding a pattern, in that understanding somebody's pattern of healing and being in that state of healing is huge,
right?
And being out of that, recognize that pattern of being out of alignment with healing is equally as big.
Yeah.
And I just like that continuity of talking about pattern, because
really
what we work with, or what I see a lot in my practice, is helping somebody understand that their current patterns, they can be changed and they can help further facilitate their growth and their healing.
Right.
And there's sometimes people need help. Sometimes our body needs help just getting out of old patterns that don't serve us and that have us stuck in these cyclical cycles.
Patterns of uneducated.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's a great point. Yeah, just recognizing the fact of like, hey, we got to come back to basics. We got to come back to recognizing things at their core value, and that's where we breed that health and restore it, right? But yeah, I think that was a great freaking chapter. I'm looking forward to bringing more. Any closing thoughts that you had, Dr. Nash?
Well, I thought the way that the chapter opens is probably one of my favorite lines of the whole thing. You and I are.
Yep.
We are. No, we're not.
Right.
That's just put so simply, but it's so profound to me.
Yeah.
That sometimes it's easy to forget that we are. We're so caught up in so many other things that might be going on around us, but the simple fact is that we are.
Yeah.
And we're the product of the producer. We're a reflection of that.
Boom. Bing, bang, boom, baby. I love it. That's what's up. But with that, guys, source is primary. Show yourself some love because you are. You and I are. Looking forward to more, giving more of this to you guys. If you guys haven't, dive into the 33 principles. Dr. Nash has been on top of it. I faltered a little bit, to be honest, a little accountability for myself here. And I'm getting back into it and everything like that. And it really is cool. We've had a lot of drop-ins. So we'll have to, once we're finished up and everything, we'll drop in some of the things, some of the evolutionary processes that have come from that. But 33 principles, read them twice a day out loud for 33 days. That's the challenge. It's awesome. Thanks for coming up with that.
Yeah. It's a chiropractic affirmation exercise. Just helps you stay in that alignment of what we're really working with.
Heck yeah, baby. Well, with that, guys, we'll catch you later. Be sure to follow DC _ wait. I always screw your thing up.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you got it.
Oh, I did get it?
Yeah.
DC _ Nash _ T.
Yes, sir.
Boom. Okay. And then I'm Gates Mayer at _ DC. And then please follow our Instagram and our YouTube. Our Instagram handle is at the _good _fight_ers. And yeah, guys, season 3 continuing to be lit. Looking forward to more now, Dr. Nash. Choose your